Welcome to the Fruitful Faith Women on Mission podcast. This podcast is created for purpose-driven women just like you who crave more. On the Fruitful Faith podcast, you can expect Christ-centered conversations that will help you to cultivate a life that you and He love. We'll be talking about topics that matter, topics that impact your everyday life. We'll talk about anything from how to transition with grace, to what to do when you're overwhelmed, to how to be content and joyful right where God's got you. It's going to be good. Let's dive on in. Hey, and welcome back to the Fruitful Faith Women on Mission podcast. I'm Alexandra Cavill. I am a certified professional master life coach for purpose-driven Christian women who crave more out of life. And if that's you, you're in the right place. I'm so excited to kick off our week together with today's latest episode. So it's gone through some different ideas, and this is sort of always how the podcast is created. Have some different thoughts to pick from and just ask for God's guidance and leadership towards what needs to be spoken to today. And so as I thought about that, especially thinking of kicking off the week, sometimes it can feel overwhelming, right? Sometimes maybe you might wish that life felt simpler or Monday felt less hectic or more doable or approachable, if you will. So if that's you, I feel you. Maybe you have just way too much on your plate right now that you feel like needs to get done. And that overwhelm, I know, can be paralyzing. Maybe you just don't know where to begin. Maybe you feel like you don't have the expertise or the confidence. Just do whatever you need to do and do it well. And that can be debilitating. I get that. And if you're in that place, I feel you. I know that it's not easy. But I want to say, but God and the strategies that He can give and He can provide when we let Him. So, what today is all about is 7 questions to ask yourself if you just want to have the best day. You just want to go from overwhelmed to focused and peace filled and purpose driven. So, yep, there are 7 questions I'm going through. You don't need to ask yourself all of them. What I'd encourage you to do is maybe get out your notes app on your phone or paper or pencil, just so that you can write down what are the ones that just resonate most with you, what are the ones that you connect with, and maybe want to fold into your everyday. So there's this concept called habit pairing too, and it's thinking of things that you already do that you can tack on maybe this question to while you do it or before or after. So, for instance, let's say you brush your teeth every morning, right? Hopefully, all of us do that. And so maybe you pull one of these questions, and as you're brushing your teeth, you're thinking through it as you do that. And so, just a couple of thoughts as we dive in. So, without further ado, here are the 7 different questions to ask yourself if you want to have the best day ever. Okay, so number 1 is the first couple are focused on God, because what better place to begin? So the first one is God, where do you want me to focus today? God, where do you want me to focus today? Simple as that. So to elaborate a little bit, maybe your to-do list says today is for clearing out your inbox. But maybe you get quiet with the Lord and ask Him, God, what do you want me to focus on today? What do you want? And perhaps God prompts you to write those thank you notes that you've been meaning to. Maybe He's prompting you to call someone who just needs to hear His truth or your encouragement. So that here's to just exercise the discipline to get quiet and to listen. And that doing it, being directed by Him, is always worth it. The next one is God, what do you want me to know today? And so sometimes asking that is just such a good driver for what you need to do. So maybe He wants you to know His deep love for you. Maybe just setting your heart, getting it grounded in that is going to change everything for your day. Maybe you get quiet and just open your palms up, lift your arms up to Him and say, God, what is it you want me to know? Maybe He reminds you in that moment that His mercies are new every morning. Just getting quiet, hearing from Him, asking Him, God, what do you want me to know today, can be revolutionary. Okay, so the next one, number 3, is I guess not a question as much. Some of these, to clarify, aren't necessarily questions, maybe fill in the blanks. So, this next kind of phrase, if you will, simple but wildly effective, is I'm grateful for blank. So, lifting up your praise, right? That's one of the healthiest things that you can do. Oh, there's so much fruit that can come from that when we lift things up in Thanksgiving and acknowledge the creator that is blessing us with whatever it is. So maybe you want to speak these praises aloud and share them with someone. My husband and I went through a period where we would share at the end of every evening. And it was a really, really sweet way to be able to close out the day together and just generated some conversation that we might not have had otherwise. Or maybe this is your little permission slip to hop out and get yourself a journal and write these things at the end of every day. And just to be able to kind of see a compilation of everything can be so powerful and so special. Or maybe I know sometimes I've seen people do this, myself included, on social media, is sharing some of those highlights. So you're reliving the good in your day. You're sharing it with other people, maybe giving them a little spark or thought to do the same. And just what a great thing to add more positivity to a place that sometimes doesn't really feel that way. And then the other thing that I'll add on here is that back in the day, right before all of the challenges with COVID, I used to occasionally lead in person workshops, and one of them was all about gratitude. It was actually the most popular workshop. And so much so that I had decided to make it online, to make it accessible for everyone. So if you maybe understand the idea of gratitude, but you'd like to kind of get deeper into it, would love to know some specific strategies. How is that connected to faith? And just let it become alive in a more tangible way, you might want to head to gracebasedchristiancoaching.com/art of gratitude, and you can read up more on the workshop there. Okay, question number 4. So this is different, but super helpful is what was hard today? And what did I learn from it that will make tomorrow better? What was hard today? What did I learn from it that I can use to make tomorrow better? So to be super transparent here, thinking back on my weekend, Saturday, by the time the afternoon rolled around, I was not in the best of moods, and there was no specific reason for it. I don't know if you guys ever get in that place too, where you just feel, negative and just everything feels heavy. And sometimes it's frustrating, right? Especially when there's not a specific thing that you can point to. And so ended up just popping out of the house, grabbed some food to pick up for dinner, and felt like a new person, right? Like sometimes, and that's my takeaway. Sometimes it's as easy as getting out of the house, changing your scenery. So that friend was my learning on Saturday, just that reminder to just step away from your environment, even if it's for 20 minutes. It can just bring you a world of refreshment and perspective, right? So that's a good one. Another one, moving on to the next, is tomorrow will be a great day because. So, love this one. I know a lot of y'all are future focused, myself included. And so it can be so helpful to kind of think, well, as you wrap down one day, what do you have to look forward to the next? It's going to be really motivating, really energizing, and just a super fun way to end the day on a positive note, no matter what happened or what didn't. Okay, number 6 is to think through, well, what are your top 3 priorities for the next day? So maybe like and remember, guys, like if you want to go through all 7 of these, power to you. That's amazing. If you only want to go through a couple, that's so good too. So just to remember, right? The goal of today is to hopefully give you 1 or 2 things to think about that you hadn't before, and maybe fold in to whatever your routine is right now. So, what are your top 3 priorities for the next day? Grab yourself a post it. I love getting fun, brightly colored ones and writing it down, doing the work, loving your future self well, like I like to say, so that when the next day rolls around, that you can hit the ground running, that you don't have to grapple with, oh, what is it that I want to focus on? What is it that's, I need to get done today? You've already done that work and it is there. And I will say, right, going back to that earlier question, right? God, what do you want me to focus on today? That really ultimately, that is kind of the best of the best place to start. I think it's helpful, right, to prepare an outline, but doing it with open hands, right? Leaving margin in your room or your schedule to allow God to move. So say that, but also saying that just with the bigger picture in mind. And then last but not least is jotting down, again, thinking about the future day, like what is my intention for tomorrow? Or you can do it that morning. What is my intention? Love writing that on a post-it too, sticking it to the wall in front of you, sticking it to, your computer, your nightstand, whatever. Maybe it's something like be grateful. Maybe you do have a lot of really good things happening. Maybe your life is what other people are praying for, and you want to be able to celebrate that. Connected, maybe your focus is celebration. Maybe that is the intention. Maybe you're being called to recognize what is getting done. I know sometimes it can be so easy to think about what isn't, but maybe you're being called to celebrate the what is happening. A couple other ideas. Maybe your intention is community. Maybe it's all about people instead of tasks. I know that's a big shift that's kind of going on in my life right now. And then maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's getting quiet with him to really hear and connect with whatever he's sharing. So think about what is your intention, and let that guide all of your actions for the day or for the next day. So there you have it. There are our top, I will say, 7 thoughts or questions to just help you cut through the clutter and really focus on what truly matters and how can I simplify and live a meaningful and an impactful life in a way that can be easy, that doesn't have to be wrought with complexity. So I hope today blessed you. I hope that you got something new or different out of it, and just look forward to what is to come for you as you step into this upcoming spring season, and hopefully do it with a full and grateful heart. Till next time. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Fruitful Faith Women on Mission podcast. If you love this episode, I would love for you to subscribe. New episodes will automatically show up on your phone when you subscribe. It's super convenient, and you'll make sure you never miss a thing. So excited to share more with you soon.